You made it to another episode of the We Did That Shit podcast, hosted by Maya and Bibbi. Join them as they share experiences and opinions about who did some shit, what they learned from shit, and how they got through some shit. Cousins by chance, friends by choice. These two passion driven personalities create addictive conversation.
All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Maya? Okay.
I'm here.
In five. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, what I'm saying is that back in the day when they were actually taking the black man out of families, like that was their goal, to take the black man out of shit.
Yes.
Oh my God. Sorry. That was their goal, to take the black man out of the family. So when they created, well, even though welfare and housing and things like that wasn't created for black people, more white people benefit from it still to this day than we do, even though they like to make it seem that we don't. But when they were taking the black man out of the family, like you couldn't have a man in the household, if you had a toaster, it was like, oh no, we're taking you off of housing, because then that would apply that a man could take care of you, all of those things, even though they wasn't giving black men jobs and things of that nature in that time. But during that time, the things like that I can understand, because they were purposeful in taking black men out of the household. Today, it's a different story. If you aren't in households in the way that these men are today, it's because you don't want to. And also black women, because I'm not talking about all women. I don't want to say I don't care about all women, but like I'm talking about black women in particular. We have had to step up because you don't have a choice. Right. It's just like when they say, oh, you the angry black woman. No, you're not the angry black woman. You are assertive, and you are assertive because you don't have a choice. Most women in this world want to live in their femininity. They want to be taken care of. They want to be protected. They want to be provided for. If they're not doing that, then what must we do? Just sit back? So that is the reason why women are accomplishing more, doing more, because you're not stepping up. So what do you want us to do? It's just like, if you don't eat, am I going to wait for you to feed me, or am I going to go out and get it and eat? Like, you have to apply the same thing. So the way that this society is just going, like I was saying, it's just creating a lot of hate, and it's a lot of abusive behavior that I see. Like, I remember we used to have this term, abusey.
We still have it.
You know what? I don't know. This is kind of
a little abusey.
I don't know, but it's feeling like.
Right. Remember I said that about the boyfriend? I was like,
yeah, something's not quite. It's
right.
It's like the Luther curl. It ain't quite. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, this society and the way that things are going doesn't feel abusey. It feels abusive.
Yes.
Very much so. Like, I'm telling you, earlier, I went down a rabbit hole. Like, I was on TikTok. TikTok has this thing now. TikTok is addictive. I'll just say that. But it has this thing, like, if you click on one live, when you go back on TikTok, it takes me to all these live
things. Yes.
So I click on TikTok. I go into this live, unbeknownst to myself, and it is like a panel. Several different people, about 4 women and 2 men. Soon as I seen the men, I said, oh, this is about to be some nonsense. So I started watching it because I'm like, let me see what they're talking about. It was so much nonsense being spoken in that live of these men. Like, I called it a Jedi mind trick, convincing these women that they were wrong for having any kind of standard. And it wasn't like the women were saying, like, oh, a man has to be, 6 figures. He has to do this. They were talking about like normal, everyday be consistent, be kind, be courteous, just like regular things that these women were wanting. And
So
the men,
what is their rebut to be consistent and be kind?
they said that women, they want too much. The man, this was the biggest thing. This was what got me really looking.
Consistency and kindness is too much.
Yeah. So this is what really got me going, because the man said, you know how they say it's a man's job, or not his job, but men want to protect and provide.
Right.
Yeah. He said women shouldn't expect for men to protect them. If you're sleeping with a man, that's what he said. If you're having sex with a man, you shouldn't expect for that man to protect you. The only man that you should expect to protect you is your husband. And you don't even need to expect him to protect you, because nowadays the traditional marriages don't work. All it is a white man telling. It was like that kind of conversation. So much so that I had to comment. Like, and I don't comment on people's lives, because I'm like,
what you say? I should have got married in college.
I was like, baby, the 90s was my best time. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. But I said, this is one, ridiculous. Two, that you women are feeding into it, because the women were like, I could see what you're saying. Like, I could see how I open up my legs to a man and give him my body. And I'm paraphrasing this part. I could see how I would give a man my body and he wouldn't protect me, even though I'm giving him one of the most special parts of me. Yeah, I could see how he wouldn't protect me. I mean, I think that is asking for too much. That's how it was. Like, it was like that. So I was like, the amount of nonsense that is being said on this live, and the amount of nonsense that you women are taking and carrying it with you is ridiculous. I said, this is like a Jedi mind trick, and y'all should be, you got to look in the mirror, baby. Like, you got to, who raised you? Who gave you something to believe in? Like, who poured into you? Who, like, who told you you was beautiful? I mean, like, anybody? Because I was dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded.
That's really sad.
It was.
That's really sad.
I was laughing because I
because you laugh at everything that's not funny, but that is really sad.
It was.
That is really sad. And now, and I was looking at something like, if you look at old videos of Rihanna, the stuff that she wears, you know what I mean? And she has her Fenty Savage and her little underwear line, and that stuff is all cute and everything. And now that's just like regular wardrobe.
Regular clothes.
Like, I'm going to tell you right, I'm tired of seeing ass.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of seeing ass every day. I'm tired of seeing ass. I mean, I'm a nurse. I have seen a lot of people's unmentionables and privates and all that other kind of stuff. But I mean, now this is just, listen, right. I'm in the Wawa ass, at the gas station ass, in the supermarket ass. Just, it's not just on the beach, it's like everywhere. And then on the beach, big ass. Everybody want to wear a thong. You know what I mean? If you got a crack, you want a thong in it. And I am sick of it. But it is that same mindset that took us away from any form of dignity. That it just seems like, you can blame the white man. You can want a man so bad. You can blame the divorce rates. You can blame whatever you want. You can but the blame is to each individual. There is nothing wrong with a traditional marriage. You don't have to knock something. If that's not what you do, fine. But your worth, you don't let trends and other people define your worth.
Right.
I saw something today. It says, I can do all things through Christ except adjust my price. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I was just like, I always want to be so witty and saying
and that was funny. That was
the dumbest thing.
It was, that's what I'm saying. It was so stupid that was funny. Like usually I laugh at bad things, but that was funny because what?
Exactly. I felt like when Bill Cosby told Theo, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. No wonder you get D's and F's and everything.
Right.
But I'm just saying your price changes. You know, you have worth. And every time I go through something, I learn something, I earn something, whatever, my price goes up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just, and you're right. Where are the people? You know, I told you I'm celebrating a milestone this year, and I really am in the mindset of honor.
Right.
You know, I am. Where are the people in your life that poured into you over the years? I mean, as a young child, everybody doesn't stay the whole time, but there are people who poured into you. Where are the people who poured into you? So you just off here just believe in any old thing, and you all men got a penis. Don't you want a penis?
Yeah, that bad. That's what it is, though. It's like, and I get it. I mean, like, you know, I'm a single woman. I mean, probably by choice more than anything.
Definitely by choice.
But I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was just saying, like, you know, maybe I need some companionship. Maybe I need, you know, and then she caught herself and she was like, I don't want to say need, like, you know, I desire to have, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, because that is the thing. Like, people, everybody wants companionship. Everybody wants somebody to love. Everybody, you know, like,
we're not created to be alone.
Yeah, all of those things are beautiful, you know, and they you know how I feel about love. It's like, oh, it's nice.
That's nice. Yes,
it's nice. I think it's nice, but it's just not, you know, like, it's not my. I want love in my life, but I want genuine love in my life. And I mean from people that I surround myself with, not just in a relationship sense. You know, I think the relationship part of it is beautiful as well, you know, but that's what it is. People want someone so bad that they are willing to just accept anything, buy into anything. It really is like, and it would caught me off guard. I don't want to say it caught me off guard because it's just the time that we living in, but like, these women were of age. They weren't no young spring chickens, you know. They wasn't, unless they just looked old.
No fool like an old fool. But I'm learning that age does not mature people.
And yeah, but I'm thinking like you know, these women look like they were like in their 40s.
That don't matter. Age does not mature.
It doesn't. But my thing is like, you haven't experienced enough in life that you now are looking at like somebody telling you that you don't deserve what it is that you truly desire, and you're like, you're right, I don't. It's like, where's your self-esteem?
Right. Where are the people that were supposed to be in your life to guide you and coach you? Now, everybody's end game is not marriage. It's not, and that's okay. And that's okay. However, whatever your end game is, whatever you desire to do, God forbid you try to hurt somebody, it's okay to have that desire. It's okay to pursue that thing, and you should not let other people guide your thinking in that, oh, maybe I want this. For example, women who get with men and they say, well, I don't want any children, and you know you want children, but you won't be with this guy for 7 years, or you know, I'm not getting married. That's an institution made by the man, and you know you desire to be married, but you want to waste 5 years thinking that you're going to change this person's mind.
Right.
You know, a job, you know, you're going to get a promotion and you stay and you stay and you stay, and then 8 other people that got promotions and you still there talking about, oh, my turn is coming. No, you have to know your value and know when it's time to check out, and don't get involved, because a lot of times you know the stuff up front.
Right.
No, thank you. And that's why I'm single, probably more than anything else. I have not met the person that I cannot live without, and the person that can't live without me has not met me yet, obviously. That's why I'm single. Because
Right.
I don't, and there's a whole lot of stuff. Women stop collecting red flags and don't let a man tell you more than once that he don't want you and all that other kind of stuff. I don't have a problem with that. Because any of those, I'm like,
right.
No, I could be wrong. I could come, years later. I'm like, oh well, I was,
Right.
you know what I mean. But
You should have been on that. You
I
should
was
have been
right
on that live. You should have been on that live to give them women some. Because I, like I almost wanted to call in, like, because you could call in or whatever you could do. I don't know how you do it, but I almost wanted to be like, put me on, coach, because what the hell is wrong with y'all? I was just,
and that's the stuff, and the voice of reason is the voice they ignore.
yeah, because they were so into trying to me, it was like jump through hoops to please these two men that they were talking to. And the men, and it was like on some rude stuff too. Like, no, did you hear what I said? And I'm thinking to myself, like, who the hell you I'm listening to it, like, who the hell are you talking to? But I also recognize that it is this mad dash to fill Kevin Samuel's space, right? So you have more of those type of men who they call it the manosphere now. You have more of that kind of rhetoric out there, and so that's just like the space that we live in, and it's very unfortunate. I blame everything on social media, and I do, because now you have more than ever people, from all across the world that are able to feed into somebody else's, like low self-esteem or their wants and desires that they're not getting. And they think that if they listen to this, then they can, a man telling you. And here's the thing. This is the thing that cracks me up about it all. You can sit and give me all the advice you could give me. Be like this, be more feminine, be,
right.
It ain't gonna guarantee you're gonna get no man.
Exactly.
Are y'all guaranteeing me?
And I don't want you, so I'm not interested in what you want. I'm not interested in portraying those attributes that you want, because I don't want you anyway.
Yeah, and
you can't speak for all men.
Right. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, y'all don't see that, like, these men, they telling you that you're not getting chosen. They're not chose either. Like, they want to believe in their hearts that they're doing the choosing, but it's like, you're not. And then, like, we have this conversation all the time about, like, they want to give you, oh, you're going to die alone. You're going to die alone. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not. Right. I'm surrounded by
men. Exactly.
Love.
More men die alone than women.
Right.
Much more men. Yes.
Right. It's like, it's just an unfortunate thing. It makes me mad when I see it happen to young girls, but when I see it happen to women that's like in our age brackets, I'm like,
I'm 25 with experience.
Okay. Well, when I see it happen to women in my age bracket, in your experience bracket, not your 25-year-old, but your experience part, I'm like, thank you. And I say it all the time, be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Yes. Because you gave me a mother who I could never listen to this stuff. Funny story. I was walking. I've been getting up and walking, right? Every day in the heat, sweating. I didn't lose no weight yet. I'm wondering when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? But
it's going to happen.
Okay, but in any event, I've been getting up every day. God, that was thunder. Sorry, it caught me off guard.
I thought it was the kids again. I was about to say, oh no, not again.
Right, not again. But anyway, I'm walking, and I have on like a hat. My hat says "Black and Beautiful," right? Mm-hmm. So this white woman stops me, and she's like, she walked around the lake like a couple times. Then she finally stopped me, and she said, I just want to tell you that you're so beautiful. Now, I had on a hat pulled down because it's sunny. It's hot. I got
glasses on, ear pods.
I'm like, you can't even see. All you see is my lips. That's it, for real, for real. So she's like, I just wanted to tell you you're so beautiful. And I'm like, oh, thanks, or whatever. So I'm about to keep it moving. She's like, yeah, I just want you to feel so beautiful. I just want you to feel good about yourself. So I'm thinking to myself, like, where is this coming from? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on? So she's like, yeah, because a lot of times, she said, when I was younger, and she was an older woman, like I mean, she was white. She could have been 40, but she was like, she was an older woman, like probably like 80 years old. Because I live in a community where it's a lot of older people. I'm no exaggeration. Like
Not she could have been 40, but she was probably 80.
I mean, no shade, but
We do
we
age
all
different.
know.
We do age
We
different.
all know that.
Racial.
But anyway, so she's like, when I was younger, I didn't feel good in my skin. I hated my skin. It was dry and it was this and that and the third. And she was like, you have this beautiful skin. Really what it was she was trying to get around to saying because I was black, right? It's like, oh, because you're black, I want you to feel good in your skin. Like, I don't want you to. So the more she was talking, the more I got what she was saying, because she was saying it like, oh, because you're black, I want you to feel good because black people don't feel good in their skin. That's basically what she said in a nutshell. So I stopped her in the middle of the conversation as she was talking, and I said, thank you for saying that I'm beautiful, but I'm black. I know I'm beautiful. Also, I had a mother who told me I was beautiful every single solitary day. So like, yeah, I know these things. Thank you, though. You have a wonderful day. And I walked off. And I brought that story up just to say, like, I had somebody to pour into me. You know what I mean? Like, I had somebody to tell me I was great. And I had somebody to also tell me don't settle. Like, regardless of whatever, we all are going to have to make compromises and things that we want in relationship, right? But don't settle for what your core values are, because now we're living in a time where somebody is telling you that the core things. Well, God,
Wow.
damn, I'm about to be. I'm about to be in a damn hurricane. What the hell's going on? But also, like, so just to finish, I'm just saying, like, don't compromise who you are, your dignity, your respect, and what
people
you
don't have that. They don't have it to compromise.
It's
and it's sad.
It is so sad.
It's sad.
I gotta stay off of these lives because I'm telling you, and any minute, y'all gonna be like, yeah, because I saw Maya from We Did That Shit podcast, and she was on somebody's live going off. Because, like, what are we talking about?
Speaking of going off, I mean, first of all, hi Maya.
Hi.
How you doing?
You know what? I'm doing okay. I got Invisalign this week, and my teeth are hurting. So, that's how I'm doing.
I thought Invisalign was supposed to be like better than braces, just put over top of your teeth. And
yeah, but it's still painful because even though it is better than braces, as far as like me not being 40 some years old and wearing silver braces, it's still shifting your teeth. So your teeth are moving. And then you have these little hooks that they put on your teeth so that the Invisalign can hook onto. And them little hooks is tearing my damn mouth up. I'm calling my dentist tomorrow, and I'm gonna ask her, can I start this maybe in October? Like, I feel like I need to be doing this in the wintertime. This is not a good time for me to do Invisalign.
Maybe you should do like, because you want to be used to it by Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. But it's just not for me. I feel like at this point, I've been living with these teeth this long. It's just not for me. And you got to wear it 24 hours.
First of all, it's too expensive for it to be not for you. You need to work it out. You need to work it out. And I just want to say that all 5 of my dad's children have a gap because he has a gap. And then he went and got his gap fixed, like when he was an adult. And now we all have gaps and he don't. And I have an overbite, you have an overbite, and now you won't get your overbite fixed too?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because the Invisalign is not it's not doing well for me. So I don't know. I mean, they keep telling me, everybody that I know that has had Invisalign, they're like, you have to just you'll get used to it. It'll be like second nature. And I'm like, I feel much like I've been getting up every day and walking. What's going to happen? I mean, come on, I'm on my fifth day. Where's the weight loss? And then I feel like with Invisalign, I'm on my third day. When am I going to start getting used to it?
Third day. Okay.
I want instant results.
I do. Well, you know how I feel about exercise. If I diet and exercise today, I want to see the results today. I'm sorry. That's just how
right.
it is.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, that's how I'm doing. That's how I'm doing.
Okay, Invisalign. But you mentioned earlier, that's why I said, well, let's just get started with the podcast. That was the pre-podcast, y'all. This is how me and Maya do every time we talk.
Yes.
It's just one thing goes into another thing, and so.
And I just said today, let's
going off.
Yeah. Oh, we are going off.
Speaking of going off.
How are you doing?
Speaking of going off, and I'm glad you're sitting down, and I've had some hours to calm myself down and everything. And I will say this. One, this is one of the many reasons that I like the podcast, because I like to bring information to people that they may or may not have otherwise known.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is good to let people know, like when we do the tax stuff and the autism awareness stuff, and you know, anything that I've learned along the way that can help somebody, I am willing to share my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I am not into telling my business per se, but for my sanity's sake, and if it can help somebody else, I will share this. So, you know, I've been dealing with my mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought my house in 2008. I live in the same house. I'm paying my bills. Everything is fine. June, I get my mortgage statement, you know, my monthly slip. This is what you owe, whatever. $4,400.39. I'm looking at the address. I'm looking at the name and address. I'm looking at my house like, did I move? Like, what? You know. So I'm like, you know, I just put it down because in my mind it's a mistake. I'll call tomorrow, whatever, you know. So I call finally, and these Maryland farmers go and say, so, you know, when you first buy a house, you get your mortgage company. I had Bank of America. Had Bank of America for 8 years, and Bank of America sold my mortgage to another mortgage company. Now, I'm no financial guru. However, I am 100% certain that when one mortgage company acquires a mortgage from another mortgage company, the information that they receive is how much we're collecting from this person every month, how much is going towards the principal, how much was going toward the interest, how much was going toward the homeowner's insurance, how much was going toward the PMI if you still have it, how much was going to the taxes, right? 8 years, Bank of America escrowed my taxes. Escrow means that they collect the money into the mortgage payment, they set it aside. When the taxes are due, they pay the taxes. Because in essence, I am responsible for the taxes, not the mortgage company. But they do it as a convenience. A lot of people have it. Some people do have it that they pay their taxes on their own. I don't. 8 years, no problem. I found out this year, because you know how I am with the mail.
Yeah, you don't check it. Probably for 8 years.
I found out that since 2016, this new mortgage company, I'm not going to mention their name, Carrington Mortgage LLC, has not been paying my taxes since 2016. Now, first of all, my house was not up for sheriff's sale or tax sale. The city ain't never said nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So I'm like,
What's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I called my attorney. My attorney was like, I never heard of such. I was
Right.
like, oh, okay. So I called the mortgage company. I said, listen, why you didn't pay my tax? Why aren't you paying my taxes? And then this is corporate America. You working for the man. I don't care who you are. I was all right, Anyway, what they said made no sense to me. So what happened was they paid my taxes. Now they want all their money back. They want all that back escrow. They want me to pay it off in 12 months. First of all,
they paid your taxes, but they did not pay your taxes. So basically, they were supposed to be paying your taxes, didn't pay your taxes since 2016, and now they get a bill that says, "Hey, you owe."
I called and asked them, "Why aren't you paying my taxes?"
And they said, "We did pay your taxes."
And no, the lady in the tax department, she was a supervisor. She said, "Oh, your property is tax exempt." No, my property. I live in New Jersey.
Right. And they want their
tax. Exactly.
They got some of the highest taxes.
We pay tax on everything.
Right.
I was like, no, that's not correct. So she said that she was going to investigate and get back to me.
Okay.
They never got back to me. They just paid the tax. The issue that I have is that, one, they didn't get back to me. So at the very least, this is poor customer service. Right. At the very least. And at the other end of the spectrum is grand larceny. They're trying to steal my house. It's grand larceny. So they paid the taxes. So whatever the city said I owed, they paid. Now, my taxes are not expensive because we were they abated the taxes, which means they decreased the price to encourage people to buy the homes. It was supposed to be for 10 years. They extended it to 15. I didn't even know that they extended it, but that happened at the point of purchase in 2008.
Right.
So I pay the taxes are only about $1,000 a quarter. Right. So I owe since 2016 second quarter. So when I tallied it up, it was like 23 quarters. That's $23,000. $23,000. They paid the city $35,000.
What was it? Interest or something?
Well, what you're not going to do is charge me interest and penalties and fees for your mistake. You ain't going to do that. So that was my complaint when So I called the mortgage company, like, what are you going to do? Because remember, and if you guys listen to the podcast, I was saying that I am going to start downsizing. Like, I'm chilling.
Right.
I work 24 hours a week. That's enough. And all my bills was paid. You know what I mean? I made sure that I could take care of everything. And, maybe I have to fly coach every other time. I don't know. But
she got drivers. It's a lot going on.
So what I'm not going to do is pay penalties and fees for your mistakes. I'm not going to do that. Do I owe the taxes? Yes. I'm willing to pay $23,000. I'm not paying it in one shot, because it was your mistake.
Right.
And then you want me to pay it back in a year. So I said, listen, can't pay it back in a year. You're charging, first of all, you're penalizing me for your mistake. You paid
all the way around.
You paid more than what I owe. And now you expect this obscene amount of money for me to be living in the same house. You're charging me interest on your mistake. And because I can't make the monthly payment on your mistake, you're charging me penalties and fees for that. Yeah. So we couldn't come to an agreement with the mortgage company. They said we don't have to stretch it out over 12 months. We can stretch it out over like 36 months or something. So the mortgage went up to $4,888.
Wait, what?
Exactly. No. So I was like, I just hung up the phone. I was like, okay. And you know me. And I'm a very spiritual person. you know, I believe it, you know, I'm a Christian, but I'm spiritual. I'm more spiritual than religious. And God has given me the spirit of David. Like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? And when I get into that headspace, all bets are off.
Right.
So I called the Department of Banking and Insurance. Every state has one, and your legislators, you know, everything is regulated. Insurance is regulated. Banking is regulated. Mortgage companies, they're banks. It's regulated. You can't just do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So this was my June statement. So, and then in June, I made the payment because I didn't want to get behind, you know, even though I really didn't have it all in my savings and everything. And now I'm all
jacked. The $4,000 payment?
I didn't want to get behind. I thought it was going to be resolved.
Right. Okay.
You know? So it wasn't. I called the Department of Banking and Insurance, and this was early June, like before the payment was due or late anything. I called the Department of Banking and Insurance. I was like, listen, I wrote the whole inquiry and all that other kind of stuff. They sent me an email back saying that they received, you know, my inquiry. They're looking into it. July. Now all of a sudden, Carrington Mortgage, and I still don't open the mail. I just put it in the pile. They sending me all kinds of mail.
Right.
But you're talking crazy. I'm not even reading this nonsense. I never hear from the Department of Banking and Insurance. So I emailed the guy back like, yo,
what's up?
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, we investigate everything. We have to read all the documents. There are no documents. They didn't send me anything in the mail. I don't have any documents to send you. I sent you a copy of my June statement where my mortgage is outrageous, and May statement, it was regular. What are you waiting for? Oh, well, we investigate everything intern and have to go through this, that, whatever. Okay. One of our senators, Senator Bob Melendez, is on the Congressional Committee for Banking.
Okay.
Yeah, is that right?
Right.
Yeah, no senator, this, da. They was like, oh, we got to fill out this form, whatever. Went up there, filled out the form, dropped the form off at the senator's office, completed the form, dropped it off at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. I got a call at 3 o'clock on Wednesday from the Department of Banking and Insurance from our state, from the supervisor. Oh, we're looking into it. This is not going to be, you don't have to call the senator.
Yes, I do.
Clearly, I do.
I
got you on the phone. Right.
Right.
So that was Wednesday. Thursday, the regular investigator sends me an email. He was like, we will, because the supervisor that called on Wednesday, he's like, we'll be in touch every step of the way. You don't have to worry, blah, blah, blah. So I guess he told the guy, you know, make sure you stay in communication with her. If they hop, tell them they hopped. If they jump, tell them they jump, you know, whatever we're doing. So and I mean, I know this trick, you know, he emails me at 4:35. So if I respond, it's like, oh, I was gone for the day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cool. He emails me at 4:35 saying that somebody from the mortgage company is going to call me. What? For what? I had to call you. Like,
right.
You know. So, and you know me, I don't answer the phone too much. So I turn my ringer on, make sure I miss the call, whatever. So
you don't answer the phone, you don't open the mail, you just
don't bother me. Leave me alone. If you need something, text me. If I can help you, I will. That's just kind of how I that's just how I live. So at 11 o'clock, I was like, because you know, I go to work at 1. So I was like, nobody called. 11:45, the guy from the mortgage company called. Let me calm down, because I noticed that when I get passionate, my voice squeaks and all that other kind of stuff. The man from the mortgage company called. He was nice. He really was. And I know that he is going to punch his coworker in the face because it was his coworker that was supposed to be handling this case, and somehow it landed up on his desk.
So now you got to get it.
And when I tell you, Maya, all the combinations that I know,
right?
when I was cool until he said this. Now, this is what the mortgage company is proposing that I do. He said to me, are you ready?
I'm sitting down.
He said to me, ma'am, I see that you make all your payments and your mortgage is ahead. In fact, we applied $8,000 towards your principal this year. You can take that money and apply it towards your payment, and then you'll be all caught up.
Wait, what?
I went.
Take the money that you've been giving them to apply to your principal so that you can pay off your house and give the money back to them. And then you're back down. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you look at it. You're less $8,000 for a mistake that they made. So then if you make the $8,000 payment, then what? Your mortgage will go back down to what it was?
No, then next month is still
going to get you
be
caught
that
up
extra.
all
right now. Right. Yes. Right.
Take
Because
the principal and give it to them. And that's only going to take you till September. But in September 1st, when the mortgage is due, they're going to want the 45.
Yes.
And he thought that was the solution.
Okay. Wait. So okay. Wait.
He thought that was the
Wait. So the first thing he said was, "Oh, good news. We got the mortgage. Good news. We got the mortgage down to, I think it was like 21 something."
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not paying that, because now it's about the principal.
Right.
Like, I don't care what you say it is. If it's $1 more than what I was paying, it's a problem.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not paying that. I can't afford to pay that. I'm not paying that. I said, because I asked, that they spread it out over 60 months originally, before I even called the Department of Banking and Insurance. Mm-hmm. And they told me every way to Sunday, no, we can't do that unless you're in a modification and we can only stretch it out to like something like 40 months or something like that or whatever. And that's why it was so high. Now, when the Department of Banking and Insurance call you, and the Department of Banking and Insurance is calling you because Senator Bob Melendez's office is calling them, now you want to stretch it out over 60 months. Well, it was 60 months that you didn't pay. But anyway, so I said, because, Jiggy ain't leaving the house. So it's not like, I'm be packing up and moving. But anyway, right. So that was the first thing. I said, no, I'm not paying it. So then he says, well, there's a couple of things we can do. First, it was take my money, my hard-earned money that I used to pay down my principal, and apply it to your bogus mistake. I said, so you make a mistake, and then you want me to pay for your mistake twice?
And that's only going to get you to September.
Off. I mean, all the way off. And then he said something else like, oh, well, you can apply for our mortgage assistance program. Now I'm on. What? I could not believe it. I really could not believe it. And I'm not saying this to like air out my laundry or anything like that. And a lot of times people, and this stuff happens to people lose their homes. They don't know what to do because, this is happening. The mortgage company is bigger than me. They have lawyers. They need the money. It's their money and all this other kind of stuff. And a lot of times people just back down. No. You are smoking dope. Let me tell you something. So I told the man after I went off, and then I said it after I went off. I told him, I said, listen, when I say you, I know it's not you specifically, but you are calling me representing Carrington Mortgage.
That's right. So it's you.
That I've heard
you, John and Carrington.
Right. This is the first time I've heard from this mortgage company since I inquired, and I had to call the Department of Banking and Insurance and my senator to get you to move to do anything. So let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to give me those options in writing.
Yeah.
You're going to give me those options in writing, and I'll get back to you because I need to form a paper trail, and I'm going to respond in writing.
Yes,
because
right.
This is thievery. I owe for 23 quarters, $23,000. I owe the taxes. I know that. I will pay it. I don't care. You paid $35,000. You're going to eat the rest.
Right.
And I'm going to pay it back on my own terms.
And even with the 23, I mean, like, if even with that, even though you owe that, you shouldn't have had to owe that if you was doing what you was supposed to be doing and paying my taxes in the way that you were supposed to be paying my taxes. Because at the end of the day, if you owe me money,
Right.
Maya,
Right.
you owe me money.
I want my money.
It's 2022 and you owed me money since 2016. It ain't no way in God's green earth that you ain't going to hear from me in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and now 22. The fact that you waited until 2022, even if you didn't open your mail, like I'm exaggerating saying you don't
Well,
open
this
your
is
mail.
not, well, it's true. I don't open my mail, but
No,
this
but
is
you
not a
open your
mail.
mail enough where you would have known since 2016 whether or not your taxes was getting paid, for one. And for two, if you didn't put it, like just like in June 2022, when they sent you the $4,000 bill, you put it on the statement. Hey, you owe us 35.
Right.
Where was the statement? You've been getting the statement. So where was the money that I owed you for the taxes in 2016? Even if you made the mistake and you was like, damn, we ain't pay your taxes in 2016. You talking about in 2017, y'all ain't catch it, and then what? Somebody else was just going through paperwork and they was like,
no. What happened was I received my 1098, which is the tax form that you receive when you're a homeowner, how much mortgage you pay, how much interest you pay, how much taxes were paid. I received my 1098 and my tax statement, because every year they send us the little tax statement with the 4 little stubs. So, for people that pay on their own, they can send their taxes. I received it on the same day.
Okay.
And I was in my office opening mail. And I looked at the 1098 and it says taxes paid 0. I was like, 0? Like, and then I opened the tax statement and it says all the way up at the top, which I think is stupid because the page starts here, the words start here, but it's all the way up at the top of the quarter. It says balance 35,000 something something something, and I was like, what? So my thing is, and this is not rocket science. This is literally you were wrong. And now you're trying, just like you said when you watch the video, they're wrong, and now they're trying to convince you that wrong is right.
Right.
Exactly. No. So they try. So this is, they didn't pay. They were wrong. When you acquired this mortgage, Bank of America, I was paying this much to Bank of America. This much was going to principal. This much was going to interest. This much was going to insurance, and this much was going to taxes. What made you say, I'm not going to pay my taxes?
Right.
We ain't going to collect the taxes.
And wait till how many years later to figure it out and say,
oh, well, they didn't figure it out. If I wouldn't have called, they would have never known. But I could have, when I asked, that she said that she was going to investigate, and she was like, if it's our fault, we will absorb any fees or penalty.
Fine. So they didn't think that it was their fault?
I don't know what they thought, because nobody ever called me back. And then so then they saying, they're doing everything except taking accountability.
Of course.
Because then their next thing was, what they tell the guy, they told the man at the Department of Banking and Insurance, well, if you're in this tax abatement, that's between you and the county. First of all, we pay the city. Second, if it's between me and the city, why you pay?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, well, why do you have the money and you pay it if it's between me and the city? Because you should have sent out a letter or a phone call that said, we ain't paying it, and the city is sending us a tax bill, and you need to take care of it. Since
if that's between me and the city, why did you pay? And then I told the guy from the Department of Banking and Insurance, like, I'm ready to punch you in the face for even bringing that back to me. That doesn't sound right to you, and you're the investigator.
Well, common sense.
I mean, come on.
It's hard to come by.
Come on. I was like, girl. So, I mean, to be continued. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, because the only satisfying solution for me is that I'll pay them back that $23,000 that I owe.
Right.
It should be less than 23 because it's a little under $1,000 a quarter. I'll pay them back that money that I owe on my terms. and my mortgage will now be escrowed. So it may go up a couple $100 to be escrowed to pay the taxes. And I'm not paying the difference between all those fees, penalties, and they may have to give me something for my grief.
Right.
Because I don't have time for this kind of stress in my life. And I told that man, I said, let me tell you something. I don't know who you think you're talking to. You see my address says Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You think that we sit around and eat Snicker bars all day? No, we do not. I will fight you to the death. As long as I got breath in my body, I will be at it. So, honey, don't rest.
Right. Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Right.
And then I had to, I was like, and the Lord just was like, you ain't got to fight. I said, okay, I don't have to fight, but I'll be a vessel for the Lord.
Right.
As he fights. No.
Yeah.
As long as, because it's about it's the principle now.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not a mistake. It's not like you're running from the mistake. Even though it wasn't your mistake, you were saying, hey, all right, I owe the 23,000. I'll pay that. Now, if it would be different if you was like, oh, you ain't paid, because for real, let's just be real honest. You didn't pay my taxes, has nothing to do with me. I'm thinking that I've been living here since 2008. Everything has been the same since 2008. Why would I think that now something would be different? So at the end of the day, you could have said, I don't know what y'all want me to do. I'm thinking you're paying my taxes all these years. Right. But you said, hey, all right, y'all ain't been paying since 2016, even though you were supposed to be paying, but you didn't. Since 2016, I'm gonna eat that, and I'm gonna say, you know what? It's my house. I do owe the taxes. I gotta pay it.
Right.
Even though that was on you, because I could have been paying my taxes. If that was the case, if I give you the money in escrow to pay the taxes, I mean, it's the same thing. Y'all gonna get the money on the front end.
Well, they stopped even collected it in escrow. They stopped collecting it in escrow. My mortgage kept going lower.
And you was just like, oh, yeah.
Right, because so I was still paying, like when my mortgage decreases, I still pay the same thing. That's why
so that it can go
ahead. And
that's why they was going to take your money from the principal and pay it on this so that you could be caught up to September. Right. So I'm just saying, even
but even now,
say,
yes,
hey, listen,
even for me to say right, because
I'm gonna pay the money.
I'm telling you, I think I'm going to fight that as well, because one, you got on my nerves, and two, and did we talk about the bankruptcy on the podcast?
No,
we never talked about bankruptcy on the podcast.
No, I don't think so. Number
two, the city never said that I owe this money.
Okay.
They never said, you owe this money. Never. The only time, and when I called the city, it took me like seven people I was like, when's the last time my taxes were paid? 3 people said I was current. And I was like, well, how can I be current if this bill says this?
Don't nobody know nothing.
Exactly.
You know what that reminded me of? Exactly. When Nino on New Jack City came out and he was like, so don't nobody know nothing. $1 million a week operation shuts down and don't nobody know nothing.
Right.
So y'all ain't got your money since 2016 and don't nobody know nothing. Okay. Now, if you go up there acting damn fool like Nino did, stab Christopher Williams in his damn hand and pull out a gun on G Money and tell him to sit his $5 ass down for you to
make change. Right.
I'm just saying.
However, I know for a fact that it will all work out for my good and God's glory. I'm not worried about it, but I let that, first of all, I don't, I can work out anything. I think one of the biggest things for me is don't talk stupid to me.
Yeah. Don't talk down to me.
Not even the down. The condescending, I can say, who you think you're talking to? I don't have to go off. But when you say something stupid, like that's the answer, and be like,
yeah.
And want me to buy it? That burns my britches.
That's why I
Just,
wanted to say something in that live, because I'm
oh
like,
my gosh,
what's wrong? What is going? Stupidity is so just like it's just a dumbfoundedness that you're like,
it's epidemic.
What would possess you?
Is something.
What would possess you to believe this, or what would possess you to say, "Ta-da!
Right,
Got something for you."
Exactly, and that's
really
exactly
like
how he presented it. Like,
he said, like,
you
you
will
really
be
were like
happy about this. We worked it out for you.
They gave it to me because I knew I could work it out for you. Now,
right? Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Lose out on your money that you've been working hard to pay. Put it on this. You're still gonna be in the same boat, but at least you'll be current.
Yes.
Then we're gonna be having the
next
same
$5,000 for your next $5,000 payment. Exactly.
We're gonna be having the same conversation in a month. It's like, what would possess you to think that sounds smart? Well, I know that everything is going to work out, because one thing's for certain and two things for sure. I ain't worried about it as far as you are concerned, because now you didn't sue the school district. You didn't, you didn't
check my records. I ain't lost a case yet.
So I really ain't worried about that. Now, them on the other hand, you should be. You know what I mean? But I just know that it is a pain in the what to have to deal with it, especially because even though you're not a person that carries stress, you're nothing like me, because I would be stressed to the nines, whether I thought that I was going to work it out or not, I still would be stressed, because at the end of the day, it's like, this is your home you're talking about. This is not something, is nothing. This is something that you worked hard for. This is something, something that you're leaving for your children, and you worked hard to get the house. You worked hard to get the house, to keep the house. And for now, something like this to happen, when you know that you've been doing all of the right things, it is a stressful thing, and whether and it is going to work out. I ain't gonna say whether it's going to work out, it's going to work out, but it's just a point to have to go through it. It's like another thing added onto your plate that didn't have to be added onto your plate. Exactly. It's like,
exactly. It really is. It really it is going to work out, and I want to, and I'm not worried about it, because I know that the Lord is going to work it out. When I got the house, I asked God, I said, can I have this house? And he said, you can have the house. That's why through my bouts of unemployment, when I didn't have any money, whatever, never lost it. We ain't never missed no meals, no vacations, nothing, so I am secure in knowing that all things will end in my favor. I really am. Also, like you said, I am litigious. I have not lost a case yet. EEOC, federal court judge, Camden Board of Education, 2 mechanics, 5 divorces, whatever. I have not lost a case yet.
Right.
And I don't plan on losing this one either. But what hurts me the most is when I look at this situation. Number one, why does stuff like this happen to me all the time? But okay, they don't want to bring my refrigerator in the house. What I mean? I had to sue the things that get me into the situations where I have to sue the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these things keep happening to me. But with this specific situation, what really hurts me the most is that I think about, because I'm an empath, and I think about people who have gone through similar situations and don't know how to fight the bully.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that is really what drives me to keep fighting. Because you can't be a bully forever. And that's why, I always related to David, because, everybody running around scared of these giants and everything. And David, like, what? I fight lions. I ain't scared of him.
Right.
And giants do fall, and I just don't like a bully.
Me either.
I don't like a bully, and for people because some people, it didn't work out in their favor. People have lost their homes
all the time.
Yeah, in similar situations, and that's what hurts me more than anything. That gives me the passion to fight this bully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you keep us posted. That's for sure. I probably know before y'all do, but keep us posted on what's going on, because I think that this was a very good lesson on paying attention, to what's going on.
Open
Not
your
saying it like you wasn't paying attention, but I mean, like you said, just staying on top of your stuff, knowing that you can fight it,
Yes,
knowing
you
that
have a
you have
recourse.
options, somebody can't just tell you something and then you take the first thing that comes to it.
Right.
You do have options, and it is something that you can get through. And like you said, don't let nobody bully you into shit.
Right. Yeah, not gonna get me.
Well, I'll just tell you my brief little something before we get out of here, because I didn't have a similar situation and nobody trying to steal no house, but somebody did steal something from me. Mm-hmm.
And you wasn't on the news?
Mm-mm. The cops got involved before I could get to the news.
I'm so sure.
So I went on a little vacation, went
Right.
to Florida for a couple of days. Remember last week on the podcast, we talked about that I wouldn't be there for Bibbi's speech, which
I
she
wasn't
did.
gonna say nothing. I wasn't
mean,
gonna say nothing.
bring up
But
old stuff, but since we talking, which she did a wonderful job, as
you.
I knew that she would. I didn't see everybody else's, but they told me she was the best one, and I could believe it because I mean, you cut from my cloth, my family, so I knew. I already know. I didn't even no thought on whether or not she was going to be the best one. But it's not about the best one.
Right.
It's about the message and all of those things. And you did a wonderful job. So,
Thank
with your hand claps, I would clap right now for you. And I'm looking forward to you doing more speaking engagements, because I know more are to come for sure. But so I wasn't there because I went to Florida. For a couple of days to get away to clear my mind.
Mm-hmm.
What I have to say is this.
Was it a girls' trip?
It was it was one other person. So it wasn't like a girls' trip in plural, like many. It was like one other person. So not
two people.
Not a couple, like a couple, but a couple. Meaning like one and two.
It was two people.
Yeah, it was just me and my girlfriend Julia.
Okay.
So we hadn't seen she, we don't live.
Your birthday twin.
Yeah, yes. Birthday twins, very good friends. We hadn't seen each other in so long. Really, this was kind of like a makeup birthday trip. We were supposed to go away for our birthday. COVID, I just didn't feel comfortable, and so we went. Basically, it was like our birthday trip. You know, these flights is out of control, so we was trying to go to like an island or something, but child, it's hard when you've been somewhere. I done paid $400 for a flight to Jamaica all my damn life, and now you want to charge me $1,100? Jamaica won't see me, that. So we ended up in Florida. Long story short, get to Florida. This is our first day. Check into the hotel. They upgraded us. I mean, we was like in a presidential suite, beautiful 2 bedrooms. It was like a little hotel. It was like a little apartment on the beach. Beautiful. Great start. My girlfriend lives down there. Hey, we gonna meet up for dinner. All right, great. Ain't seen her either, right? So it's nice. We went to this place called the Boatyard Restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I don't even have the address on me, but I'll make sure that I put it in the description when we put this podcast out. Went there on the water, all the yachts in the background, beautiful. I'm beautiful setting. Had a great dinner. Food, delicious. Company, even better. Drinks. Met these 2 guys that was talking to, because I'm always talking to somebody. Met in particular.
Flirting.
And,
Flirting. But go ahead.
And you know what? It's life. It just happens. But anyway, talking to them, find out that they own a charter company, and so they're like, "Oh, we can go to the Bahamas on a little lunch," blah 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 blah. Oh, nice day. It was ladies' night at this particular restaurant, the Boatyard Restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Right. That's right.
So we were like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna go over and have some drinks. Go over to the bar." Now I should have known when we got to the bar that it was going to be some nonsense, because women bartenders don't like to wait on women. Now it's ladies' night, and unbeknownst to me, the drinks are free all night for ladies. Yeah, they got specific stuff on the menu, but they
Okay.
give you vodka, tequila, whiskey, cognac, whatever. But you know, it's like
Okay.
real liquor.
Bet your bottom dollar that Maya did not order any of the free drinks.
I didn't.
I
So it was, you know, it's real liquor. So I was like, well, what do you have? So first it was hard to get the girl's attention. Finally, she come over prancing. I'm just looking at her like, she was like, what can I help you with? Kind of like with a stank ass attitude. So I'm like, what you got? You know, what kind of tequila do you have? She was like, we got all the tequilas. So I said, okay, do y'all have 1800? She was like, that's not on the ladies' night. I said, what is the ladies' night? You know, because I'm not from here. I don't even know what the ladies' night is.
No,
Right.
you went from what kind of tequila do you have? We have all tequilas. You got 1800. That's not on what?
Ladies' night, right? So I'm like, well, what's the ladies' night? She tells me that you could get the drinks. She tells me what it is. I said, so do you have 1800? She was like, yeah. So she goes, then she comes back. We don't have 1800. So I'm like,
So you
well,
don't have
give me right. So you don't have all tequilas. Give me Don Julio. So she was like something again about the ladies' night. So I say to her very politely, even though I wanted to be like, bitch, did I say
exactly.
you know, I didn't. I was very nice. I said, I don't care what's on the ladies' night. I don't drink what's on the ladies' night. I'm asking you, can I have Don Julio with a splash of whatever it was that I got? So she goes, she gets the drink, she comes back. Now she got an attitude at me because I want something that's not on the ladies' night. Bitch, are you the bartender? Do you know how to make drinks? Like, what's the deal here? So she gives me the drink. I give her my credit card. She turns around. I'm watching her the whole time. She turns around. She swipes my card. About 5 seconds later, she turns around with this look on her face, like a oh my god look. So I'm looking at her like, whatever. She gives me the receipts. So I'm like, what is this? She was like, the receipt for the drink. I said, where's my card? Because I don't want to, you know, they be like, you want to start a tab? No, I don't want to start a tab. Like, I'm going to pay. Because now you acting like a goofball because you barely want to
Even if you start a tab, they don't have to hold your card for that.
They do hold your card. Some they help at that place, not all of them. Some of them swipe your card and then they give you your card back. They have the tab open. You tell them your last name, blah blah blah. Some places they keep your card. I saw that they were keeping people's cards because they had like a little box that had people's cards in them. She asked me off the bat, do you want to start a tab? Now, normally I would have started a tab because we was going to be there and you know I'm not going to drink none of the real liquor. Right. So yeah, I would have started a tab, but her attitude, I was like, nah, I'm going to make you work for it. Every time I want to drink, you going to swipe my card. Right. Because now we on some goofiness. I could get goofy with you. Right. You know, so she's like, gives me the receipt. I said, where's my card? She was like, I don't know. So I'm like, she was like, sign this. Now talk about.
She must work for Carrington Mortgage. What?
The whole time you was telling the story, I said, WC. This sounds oddly familiar without the big price tag attached to it. Right. You know, but so she said, sign this. I said, sign my name on these receipts. And you don't have my card. So now I'm like, so now at first I'm being all like, yeah, you know, whatever. Now it's like, yo, find my, you know what I'm saying? It's all of that. Like now my voice is like this, like find my card. Like what we doing? I'm doing, my hand is going like this. Right. So it's like, what are we doing? So it's people trying to get her attention. This dude. This is the reason why I need to stay in the house. Because you know I don't like goofiness. And you know I don't like goofy men. I'm not accustomed to goofy men. I don't want to be around no goofy men. This man trying to get a drink, reaching over me. Now I'm in a mood now. Right. I'm like, yo, like now it's full hood. Yeah. You know, like I'm like, yo, don't reach over me. Like, don't reach over me. You see me trying to take care of something. Like, you need to calm down. You know, like it's one of them. So I'm going back and forth with the girl. She looking all around in the ice, into this. She can't find the card. In the meantime, my girlfriend goes to get the manager. The manager comes over there. Her name was India Rawlings, at the Boatyard restaurant in Fort Lauderdale Park. So she comes over there. She goes in the back. She crawling on the floor, looking for the card, all this other stuff. She comes over to me and says, "This is the goofiness. This is Carrington Mortgage must be owned by them." So she comes over to me. She says, "We can't find the card. Give me your name and your number, and we'll call you at the end of the night. I promise we'll find the card." I said, "So you want me to leave
What?
the restaurant while you find the card? And then you won't call. If you can't find the card now, what makes you think that you're going to find the card at the end of the night?" Like, I'm so confused on what's going on right now. So she's like, "Yeah, we'll definitely find it." I said, I'm about to punch her in her fucking face.
And that's what I mean about when you say something stupid, like that's the answer.
That's the reaction that you're going to get. I said, very matter of factly, I'm about to punch her. I turned around to the bartender. So I'm about to punch her in her fucking face, and you could be next. Y'all got me fucked all the way up in here. Excuse me, podcast family, because yes, I'm cussing. Y'all got me fucked up in here. If you think that I'm about to leave this restaurant and y'all gonna find my card later, if you ain't find my card now, I said, so now y'all stole my card. Oh, no, we didn't steal, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I said, if I don't have my card in my hand, then you stole my card. That's just the bottom line, because there's no way I'm going to leave. So she says, I don't remember. She said something about the cops. I said, yo, you could call the cops right now. Matter of fact, call them to my girlfriend. Call the cops right now. I said, because I'm not scared of no cops. I got bail money. I got family that's going to come to Florida to get me. Right. And I got lawyer money. You can call the cops right now. Like, what y'all think this is? So she was like, we got a cop on staff. I mean, like, you know, it was like an off duty. He was like off duty, but he was in uniform. Speaking of which, I don't really, this is a side note. You know, I don't like cops, but he was handsome as I don't know what. Anyway, the cop comes over to me. As soon as I walked up to she was like, we could go, that we have a cop on staff. I said, go get him. Like, go get him. Because she kept saying, oh, don't talk about getting violent with my staff. I said, I'll get violent with you, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we talking about right now? So we go over to the cop. As soon as I walked up to the cop, I said, yeah, I told her that I'm going to punch her in her fucking face, and I'm going to punch the bartender in her fucking face too. So I told him to call the cops, and that's why that's why we right here with you right now. So then the cop was like, let's go outside and talk. You know, it's loud or whatever. The cop, I will say, was very helpful. Mm-hmm. He was very helpful. You know, I had to make a police report and all of this stuff. The long story short of it is, so the manager kept coming over to me, and she kept saying, they gonna comp the bill. I said, the $16? You think that I'm doing all of this for $16? Y'all gonna comp the bill anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even a thought process in my mind. And you're gonna comp the dinner that we just paid. I just gave your restaurant damn near $300 for this dinner. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not worried about, I'm not saying it like I got so much money, but obviously I'm not, that's not what I'm thinking of. Like I told the cop, I said, because I put a freeze on my card right then and there, all that other stuff, you know, that you do. But like I told the cop, at this point, it's about the principle. For one, y'all stole my card. For two, and for three, now we're talking about identity theft.
Exactly.
Like, because you have my name out there. And like I told the cop, I said, if they gave my card to somebody mistakenly and they didn't give it back, you stole it. Right. And if I don't have my card in my possession right now, you stole it.
If I gave my card to you and you don't bring it back to me, that's stealing.
And the manager kept saying, India Rawlins, she kept saying, please stop saying that we stole.
You stole it.
I said, I don't have my card. I gave the girl my card. I'm literally looking at this girl. I never turned my back on the girl. You know what I'm saying? And you stole it. So she had to have put it on her own person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I was there forever, you know, going off or whatever. Then we finally left. And thank God that I was, because yesteryears, I would have been over the bar. And then I would have been locked. Because I told the cop, I said, if I go over here and I punch her in her fucking face, then you want to lock me up, right? He was like, I mean, yeah. I said, and I'm willing to go. I'm willing. I don't even care at this point. That's how mad I was, because it wasn't that my card was stolen. It was the way that they were handling the
Right.
situation.
Like it was no big
You're
deal.
handling the situation like
Right.
I'm not the victim. They're
Right.
handling it like I was the problem. And
You
again,
Carrington mortgaging the situation.
that's the reason why I brought it up, because I'm like, it's the same thing. It's
It
just
is.
the big ticket item
It
attached to it,
actually
but it's
is.
the same
It really
exact thing.
is.
So the next day, it gets better. I leave. We go to another spot. Didn't let it ruin the night. We go to another spot. I actually got a date while I was in that spot. It was some man in there, and he was staring, and I was like, you know, really just kind of like, I don't feel like this tonight, but also I'm flirtatious. So
Yeah.
as he was leaving, I was like, oh, you leaving so soon? And he was like,
You can't even help it.
so anyway, we had a nice lunch date the next day. You know, I mean, it was a nice time. You know, I probably won't ever see that man again in life, but it was a nice time while in Florida.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So the next day, I called to the restaurant because they didn't call me. Nobody called me. Remember, they said they was gonna call me.
Right.
Nobody called me.
Mortgage. Go ahead.
So the next day, hello, can I speak to a manager?
Right.
The manager gets on the phone. The first thing I say is, hi, are you aware of the incident that happened? This is how I'm talking. Are you aware of the incident that happened on last night about the person who lost the card and blah, 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 blah? I explained the whole situation very nicely. The man says, yes, I'm aware of it. His name was Tom Clark at the Boatyard restaurant in Fort Lauderdale.
Tom, how apropos. Go ahead.
I said, okay. Now he says, I'm well aware of it. I said, okay. Did you find my card? I'm the person who it happened to. I gave my name, blah, blah, blah. No, we didn't find the card. So now I'm furious because I'm like,
so now you stole the card for real, and then you weren't even going to call me to say that we stole the card for real. This is really Carrington mortgage.
the same scenario. So then the man tells me he starts treating me
like it's your fault,
like it's my fault. Because I'm like, well, when was somebody going to call me? When were you going to say something? You know, blah, 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 blah. Very calm at first. But as you know, because y'all listen to the podcast, my voice might sound aggressive when I'm just talking regularly. I don't care. I'm not going to change how I talk. So the man is like, ma'am, you're talking very aggressive. What? I said, what's your name? He was like, Tom. And Tom had it. Tom had a time. So then Tom hangs up on me. Hangs up on me.
Mm-hmm. You a manager. You have no people skills, and you don't. And then you mad at me.
And hung up on me. Told me he was a human being. Why was I talking to him like this and this, that, and the third?
He's a human being
on the face of this earth that is going to tell me how to talk, especially not somebody that I don't know, especially not somebody who works at a restaurant that did me wrong. So he hangs up on me. I called back, kept calling back. I guess they have, caller ID. Kept calling back. My girlfriend said, we could call from my phone. We ain't going to call from your phone. Finally, he gets on the phone. He says, ma'am, I'm ending this conversation. I said, Tom, I'm on my way up to the restaurant and I'm bringing the police with me because you're going to call them anyway when I get there, correct? Mm-hmm. So I'll bring them with me. I'll do you one better. I'll spare us the heartache. Mm-hmm. I'm on my way. I'm bringing the cops up there. Then he changed his whole tune. Well, ma'am, this, that, and the third. I said, what is your last name? Because I need to put that in the police report too. So he gives me all of his information. And I said, this is just like going to be the death of you, India Rawlins. I said, I'll be contacting you. in the boatyard. I said, I'll be contacting your general manager. And when you get done with me, I'll be talking to the owner. And I said, and then we'll see how all of this plays out. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to go back and forth with India. I'm not going to go back and forth with that bitch who stole my credit card. Her name was, what was her name? Oh, her name is Anissa Reed.
Mhm.
I have her address from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Yeah, because it's in the police report. That's her name.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go back and forth with none of y'all. I said, you got it. Y'all got it.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. I said, y'all should be very lucky that I didn't act more of a fool when I was there. Because to me, I think I handled the situation well. Like very well. If it wasn't for the cop being there, like, and at that point, I was away from the girl because the cop had took me outside because I would have jumped over that bar no matter if that cop was sitting there or not. It just was a whole lot of nonsense. And the moral of the story is when you feel like it's about to be some goofiness, walk away. Because I'm telling you, when I went over to that bar and the way that the girl was like, giving me the runaround about whether or not I wanted something on ladies' night or whatever the case is, I should have known that it was going to be goofiness then. I felt it in my spirit, but yet I did. Soon as we was walking over there, because when we were sitting at the table and my girlfriend was like, well, let's walk over there. You know how you peep the scene? I was like, this about to be real goofy. I don't like that Fort Lauderdale, Miami type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fake people, a lot of pretentious people. It's a lot of people that ain't got no money, but they trying to front like they got money, and they trying to front like they somebody, and like everybody is somebody in the eyes of the Lord, but like you ain't nobody to me. It's a lot of goofy men. It's a lot of men with no undershirts on. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of unbuttoned shirts. It's just a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't me. That ain't for me. Even though I'm flirtatious and I can have a good time, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have a good time wherever I go. That scene is just not my twist. So I already knew that it was getting ready to be something stupid. I told you the man was reaching over top of me. Like, you're a grown ass man. You see me going through something. You hear me. I'm loud. I'm talking to this girl loud over the music. You see me going through something, and you so thirsty for a drink that you reaching over me. It just was, it was just it was a lot of Florida going on there. There's a lot of Florida going there. But all in all, it was a good time.
Well, wait a minute. You can't wait. So, what is your next steps? Because who's going to pay for your identity protection?
Oh, they're going to pay for it. So I wrote to the general manager a nice long email, attached the police report, attached the receipt for the identity theft, because yes, I did put an identity theft monitor on my card. It was costly, or like on my name, because at this point I'm worrying about identity theft. I know somebody that's going through identity theft right now.
Right, and it's a lot.
It's a monster.
Yes.
It could stop you from doing so much in your life. So I did put the monitor on there. Nobody has, I got the new card. I got, all of that, but it's more so about my name at this point. I got good credit. I ain't trying to mess it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my next step was that I sent it to her manager as well, because I found all of them on LinkedIn. They didn't have their stuff listed on their website. I found you on LinkedIn, and I'm waiting to hear back from them, because I had to wait until today actually to get the police report, because it takes them a certain amount of days. So I called to get the police report today, and they emailed that to me. So I wanted to have everything attached when I sent everything over. So much like you said about the mortgage, we'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted on what's going on in this situation too. But we the same. I'm not going to let this go. This is not
an epidemic. It's an epidemic. Like, first of all, the bartender, I mean, unless she buys a vow, that's what you're going to be. I mean,
And that's no
Yeah.
shade to bartenders, but
Oh,
like,
don't say the bar. I'm just saying how when people are in whatever position you're in, you know, you can't grow if you don't know how to one deal effectively with people.
right,
I deal with disgruntled people all the time.
right.
You know, you do what you got to do. You take a breath, you stop this. Now, I'm not going to let anybody be violent to me, but if somebody's yelling, and certainly if I not or the people, the company that I represent is at fault, you know,
Right.
somebody has to take accountability. I'm sorry that happened.
They didn't
I
say any.
apologize
They
for
didn't
your
say anything.
experience. Something you have to take some accountability.
I told the man, I said, let
You
me
did
just
it,
say this. If you can't take the way that I'm talking to you right now, because
and
at
you a
first
manager.
I said, if you are in the wrong career because you are in management, people I'm sure say worse things to you, and they speak to you in a tone that you don't like all the time, and that was that white fragile behavior because I was a black woman. And you know, it's funny because my brother was like, oh, they thought they was dealing with like a little bougie black girl, but then it
Mhm.
was like, mm-mm.
Carrington
I,
Morgan all
I
over.
don't know what y'all think is going on
Yes,
around here, but the fact
yes,
that you even came up to me and said the goofiness of go ahead and leave and
yes,
we'll call you later. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody
right.
said sorry, nobody took accountability. I told the cop, I said at this point it's about the way that they're handling the situation because things happen all the time. I'm not oblivious to the fact that a card could get lost. I'm not oblivious to the fact that you could have gave my card to somebody mistakenly. I'm not oblivious to any of that. It could have fell in a crack and you just didn't, you know, it could have anything could have happened. And if you would have came over and you would have handled it a different way, you handled it. It was handled wrong from
From
beginning
the
to end.
start,
When
right.
you came over to me and gave me receipts and thought that I was going to be dumb enough to sign the receipt without having my property in my hand, that was ridiculous. And then the manager kept saying, I'm trying to help you, but you won't let me. Girl. Mm. It was a very interesting and you know I don't have time to even tell you all the rest of the stuff that happened. Maybe I'll save that for the other for another show. But it was like Florida was just being Florida. But all in all, it was a great time. I'm glad we got away. We had some really good food. Like I said, had some nice company for the time that I was there. It was a nice time, you know. But
I'm glad you had a nice time. I just want to say, like, there was a seat right there for you up front and everything. And, you know, I made it through. I'm glad I made it through, you know.
I'm always with you in spirit, boo.
Thanks,
Always
you know.
right here. I don't know if I'm pointing to my heart, but right there, it's me and you.
Yes,
And all,
yes.
you know, I mean, all the time. But
It worked out.
yeah,
Mhm.
this was a great show. You know, I think we gave somebody some, I mean, somebody out there that's listening some really good information. Um, don't let nobody take you through the
Don't
ringer
let
of
yeah, don't
going
let people bully you. Don't let companies bully you. And that really is the bottom line. Don't let companies bully you. And I used to really like Florida. Like we used to go to Florida, hang out, have a good time. But so much stuff is happening. Like I don't even want to give Florida any more of my money as a tourist. And now that you had that experience, I'm really
girl.
interested in going to Florida and giving them any of my money. Like they don't want people to vote. They just and they are very pretentious. You know, this season of Ready to Love is in Miami.
Ah, oh,
Exactly. And when you
mm,
see these people, I was like,
mm. It was a lot of that. It was a lot of that. It was a
mhm,
lot of like, if you don't get out of here. And the only reason why I went out with the man was because he was from Mississippi. He was from Mississippi, but he lived there for work.
oh,
So that was what was like, oh, okay. Because had he said like, yeah, I'm from here, I probably would have been like, nah, my man, you ain't for me. But because he was from, the South, well, Florida is the South, but you know what I mean. And then it was like, oh, okay, I can give you a. Jacob is a nice guy. He asked me out very. he asked me out very nicely. It was like he asked me, he followed through, he, picked the place, picked the time. He was very nice, and he did all of the things
That a
that
man is supposed
a
to
man
do.
is supposed to do, and definitely that I have expectations of. And
Right.
my mother used to always say, don't put your expectations on other people. But as far as like how a man is supposed to treat you, or how I want a man to date me, he did everything right. When I pulled up to the restaurant, he was sitting in the right seat. You know what I mean? Like, it was, everything was correct. So like, again, I might not never see him again, just because of life, but it was a nice time
Good.
while there. Yeah. Nice
Good.
time. You got anything else?
I think we've said it all. I mean,
All
I
and
just,
then some.
yes. I used to always say, and I thank God for growth. I used to always say, I get angry and I would say, you about to find out everything you heard about Camden is true. You know.
Well,
Um, but with
well,
grace, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but with some grace,
I
getting
think
better.
we both extended grace to the people who did not do us the best in both of these scenarios.
Yes. And don't be bullied. If I want to leave, don't be bullied. There is a recourse
Right.
always.
Yep.
This, we don't live in George Orwell's 1984. This is not totalitarianism. There is a recourse. Don't be bullied. And if anything, that's what I want you to know. And I will keep you posted.
Please do. And like she said, don't be bullied. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. We hope that y'all enjoyed the show for this week. Don't forget, I say it every week. We drop a new show each and every Monday. Check us out anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. You can now see us. Click
Yeah.
the notification bell so that you can get notifications every time we drop a new episode. Follow us on social media and engage with us. Like I said last week, make sure that you engage with us. Any topics you want us to talk about, if you want to comment on a past show, anything, just, engage with us. We like to hear from you if you're listening to the podcast, if you're enjoying the podcast, even if you don't like the podcast, but be respectful. Be respectful. But no, follow us on all social media platforms at We Did That Shit Podcast. Always follow me on my personal Twitter. It's my13. It's MYMY13.
And I'm at Bibbi Amina. That's BIBBIAMINA.
Yep. And we'll keep y'all posted on everything that's going on. And we'll see y'all next week.
Remember, be great this week. Don't fall for the bullshit. I love you, Maya.
Love you too. These Invisaligns. They're not for me.